Hey everybody, welcome to the Lightroom Show. My name is Scott Kelly. I am joined by RC.
What's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? Now this week, you have a small tip for us on the concept of chromatic aberration or how to fix it.
I do. So if you don't know what chromatic aberration is, I'm going to show you and you'll know it forever. Now looking at the image on my screen right now, you don't really see anything. You're like, oh, okay, except for the most cliche picture ever taken from my hotel room. That's how much work I put into this one. But anyway, if you zoom in tight, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's zoom way in and move over here. We're zoomed crazy in.
Ooh.
See that big purple line everywhere? It'll usually be in purple or green. That is chromatic aberration. This will happen a lot of times. Sometimes it's a lens thing, but sometimes it's you've added a lot of stuff to it in Lightroom. Sometimes a lot of clarity will bring out chromatic aberrations, opening up shadows. There's all kinds of things that could bring out chromatic aberrations. It's generally thought of as a lens problem, but you can enhance the lens problem with your controls. So this is a pretty big mess. So first off, the good news is most of this goes away with one click. Go over here to the lens correction panel and click on remove chromatic aberrations. And just by clicking on it, you can see it did get a little better. It's not awesome, but it did get a little better. To get a lot better, you're going to need to go over here to the chromatic aberration panel. It's called color. If you look over here in the panel, just color. And then there are two sliders, one for the greens and one for the purples. In this case, you can see our chromatic aberration problem is very purple. We're going to drag the amount, the defringe amount, over to the right. Ooh, just a little tiny bit and it's gone. Wow, I had to move such a little amount. Actually, I didn't have to go that far. Maybe I did 7 down to 4. About 4, just kind of neutralize that edge. It's no longer purple. Okay, maybe 5. All right. Neutralize that purple edge. That's it. That's all you have to do. If it's green, you're going to move the green slider. If it's purple, you're going to move the purple slider.
And it's one of those things that I think that one of the things that I think is funny about chromatic aberration is once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
People will be like, "What's that one band?" You're like, and you're looking for it everywhere. So
you know where you see it big time? When you make a print. Make a print. I made a big print the other day, and it had some. Of course, I didn't notice it until we made it big, and I'm like, we got to reprint this. I got to go do camera aberration correction and reprint it.
All right. So now I have something that I wanted to show you guys on the concept of publish services. Inside of Lightroom, right, inside of the library module, not only can you import and export and organize, but you can also just publish right from here to a variety of different services. You'll notice that off the bat, you'll have things like 500px and Facebook. They'll even added Behance. You'll have a bunch of different things to be able to do. And when you set up Lightroom for the first time, you may not necessarily have all of that stuff connected. So if I wanted to set up my 500px account for this, you could just go right into this one area and click on Setup. This will bring you to this one area here and says, well, do you want to log in and create? I'm going to go ahead and log in with my account. Click on Login. It brings you to this one page and it says, hey, do you want to use that? I'm going to authorize it. Not a problem. Right? You're awesome and have unlimited uploads and sets.
You are awesome.
Thank you. So let me see. So I'm going to call this RC 500px. I want to give it a name. I'm going to click on Save. Now, look at what's happening here. It's picking up all of the pictures that I have from 500px, and it's offering a way for me to push everything back out. So it's doing a little bit of both. Once you've done that, you'll notice that here on the left-hand side, it syncs all of your information, brings all of the information back down. And if you wanted to send something from there, I can just grab a picture and put it inside of there. Once you have it set in that one area, now you are ready to publish, right? So you'll see that it says there are new photos that are ready to publish. You could always just click on the Publish button. You send that up, it's automatically going to update those published collections. And now you'll notice that inside of 500px, all of the information has been uploaded from there. So it's pretty straightforward, right? Going in and going out. And once the setup is done, smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, and publish is a good word because when you are putting it out there for the public to see, you're publishing your image.
Yeah.
So that's a good word. Now the 500px thing, that's new, that's relatively new?
Well, they've added some stuff inside of there that is new to 500px, right? They've done some integration for that, but I think there is one thing that I thought was really cool in this is in the metadata section. Now you'll notice that you have an area here where you can actually add information for 500px.
Look at that.
If you look at the drop down there, right? You can have title, description, you can specify a category based on them. I'm just going to zoom in here.
Right.
You have mature content, whether or not it's going to be mature content, and license type. So now they're adding all of the common, Creative Commons
Sure.
information that's inside of there. So if you wanted to be able to attribute a license to it, you could do it right in that one spot. So
that part's new in Lightroom CC.
Right. So Lightroom CC and 500px are doing a lot more kind of putting things together. So it's good to see that kind of stuff.
All right. Also, we answered this stuff about published services because we saw your comments in the Lightroom Killer Tips comment section. So when we publish the show, you guys come in and say what you liked, what you'd like us to cover, and that stuff. We read them all. Right. Good or bad. We read them all, and we'd hope to cover them for you here. I've got a tip for you, and it is a real short, quick tip on a quick way to speed up your workflow when you're looking through your images and deciding which ones are pics, which ones are not. I use the pretty much exclusively the pic ranking system, where if I see a photo I like, I've got an image on here, I'm going to go through some images on screen. So when I see an image I want to keep, I press the letter P, and you can see it flags that image as a pic. Now I hit the right arrow key and move on to the next one. But there's a little thing you can turn on that makes things go faster. Let me go back to the previous image. I'm going to press the letter U to unmark that. And then we're going to go under the photo menu, and we're going to turn on this little feature called Auto Advance. What Auto Advance does is, as soon as I hit the pic flag, hit the letter P, watch what happens. Just moves to the next image for me. Yeah. So as I move through, I see something I like, I hit pic, it just moves to the next image, and I know right away I'm ready to keep doing it. It just keeps you from having to go to the arrow key every single time. Yeah. So it just speeds up your workflow. It's a little tiny little thing. If you ever wondered what does Auto Advance do? Well, now you know.
Wonderful. Let's take a quick break. We want to talk to you about a bunch of different things. We'll cover all of that when we come right back. Is this on? Oh, wow, hot mic. Is this going to be on TV? Welcome to, how shall you say? Yes. Hey everybody, RC, welcome. I am your host for Photography Tips and Tricks. This is a show that's geared for you. We want to take your photography to the next level, and to do that, we'll feature gear reviews. And it has a built-in reflector for an even light spread. We'll show you tips and tricks.
Is literally stop, turn off live view, and that's it. You just set your white balance to the perfect light for this situation.
When you're shooting video, that entire movement is being recorded.
We'll interview people.
Something we really tried to achieve with this bag is a bag that just hugs your hip.
So for the first time, I have control over all my images in one simple software.
75% of the stuff that we've heard is addressed in 1.1.
And we'll provide that next level of education that's gonna make your photography amazing. You have a speed light that's set over there, and it's blocked by line of sight. So can we pull a shot off like that? We just like to make sharp pictures here. Make sure you take a look at it here at KelbyTV.com. Buenos días, aquí estamos aquí con el Photography Tips and Tricks, the show that you're going to need for, no? Welcome back, everybody, to the Lightroom Show. RC here with Mr. Scott Kelby. Guys, this show is brought to you by Kelby One. That is what we do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the best training in Photoshop, Lightroom, and photography. And now, if you're a user of Lightroom, inside of here, we have 15 brand new classes on Lightroom to get you up and running, Lightroom CC. So we have a lot of information there, right, from getting started. You actually have a class that goes Lightroom CC in 1 hour.
Yeah, if you know someone that doesn't already use Lightroom, this is not for you. If you're like, you've been using it for a while, don't go watch my Learn Lightroom in 1 hour. Watch all the other classes I did on Lightroom. But if you know somebody that's like, hey, I always kind of wanted to learn Lightroom. Right. I did a class called Learn Lightroom in 1 hour. And again, like Archie said, we released 15 classes. So go, if you're a regular watcher of this show, watch the other stuff. Right. You know somebody new, your mom, your sister, a cousin, a friend, always wanted to learn Lightroom, go watch Lightroom in 1 hour.
So you can see all of that stuff over at KelbyOne.com. You'll get a chance to browse all of the courses, not just Lightroom, but also Photoshop and photography. Guarantee you're gonna love it. Now, Scott, you have something for us on the Lightroom mobile site.
Right, if you're using Lightroom mobile on a red, no, it's RC's case here, I'm borrowing his. So it's just a question that we get asked quite a bit, and it's where we are with Lightroom mobile. I love Lightroom mobile, it's awesome. And when Adobe announced CC, they actually released the Android for the tablet version. So it's on Android, it's been on Android phone, but now it's on the tablet. But so this question isn't really about which device, but it is about syncing to a catalog.
Right.
At this point in time, I'm not saying it's going to change, but it may change, but at this point in time where we're at, you can only sync one entire catalog at a time.
Okay.
You can have 50 collections, 60 collections, but if you use multiple catalogs, when you switch to a new catalog, those images are going to leave you.
Right.
In other words, you get one catalog you get to pick to sync back and forth with.
Right.
And whatever one that you have, if you change and start a new catalog and stuff, those pictures are not going to sync anymore. It's synced to a particular catalog. So just wanted to keep that in mind. It is a one catalog deal thing at this time. Now there may come a time in the future, and I'm hoping that day comes soon, that I'm not sneaking any information here, I'm just hoping it does, where we can have 10 catalogs and they all sync.
Yeah, be a good thing.
But at this point, it's a one catalog world. Hey, we're going to answer a question that we had about printing. So Clinton Ferrara asked this question over on our site, Lightroom Killer Tips. RC, the question is, what is the best way to save the print settings for a particular file? So if you need to come back in a couple of weeks, the client wants a reprint,
right.
You know, you have all the file setting, the page size, everything ready to go.
They couldn't have made it any easier for that. So inside of here, you have a collection, and let's say that I have a picture of Steve, right? And let's say that I have all of that set up, right? I have the print settings done, I have ICC profiles done, I have the sizing and the margins and everything done. Easiest thing you could do is right here in the upper right-hand corner, there's a section that says Create Saved Print. All that does is create almost kind of a type of a collection where I can now put in Print for Steve for later. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, really. But inside of here, you click on Create. Now you'll notice that inside of the collection itself, you have something that looks like a little printer icon. To the right of it says Print for Steve later. At any point in time, he comes back, he wants that print. I go right to that one thing, print it, and we're done.
And I have a mini tip on top of that. If you are in the print module like we are here on my computer, you're in the print module and you do not see that, you're like, where did RC get that button? It is the backslash key on your keyboard. Hit the backslash, not the forward slash, but the backslash, and it reveals that little area up there, and now your Create Saved Print button appears up in the right-hand corner.
That's perfect. Now, Scott, a little bit of inspiration before we take the show out.
I have some inspiration. I got an awesome photographer to turn you on to. He's a friend of mine and just a terrific photographer. His name is Jose Ramos. His website is Ramos Aviation Photography, and he gets to fly with all of these military aircraft. He's rated on all these military aircraft, and he mounts GoPros inside, and he flies up there himself, and he shoots air to air, and I'm just going to flick through a couple of pictures here. He's got some really amazing stuff. He goes to some amazing locations, and he just gets some, I mean, I don't think he's updated his site in a little while because he's been sending me some stuff lately that's just crazy. So when I'm done with this show, I'm going to go yell at him. But in the meantime, if you want to enjoy some of his stuff, go to ramosaviationphotos.com and check it out. He's got some great stuff.
That's awesome. Now, hey, listen, we also do a show, not just this one, right? We have several shows that you should check out on Kelby TV. We do Photoshop, User TV. We do photography tips and tricks. And we also have a weekly talk show that we do on Wednesdays that's live called The Grid. If you're not familiar with all this stuff, make sure that you go to kelbytv.com and take advantage of all of our other shows. Yeah, all of our shows live there. The talk show, the one we do called The Grid on Wednesdays, it's live. So we take your questions live on the air. We get a lot of special guests that come in. If you haven't watched The Grid, we hope you'll go check it out. It's a lot of fun. It's very live, so crazy things happen. It is hosted by myself and RC. Yes. And we will hopefully see you there every Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is New York time for everybody around the world. Go to the World Time Calculator, figure out when we're on, come and watch. We'd love to have you. So, all right, thank you so much, guys, for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next week here on The Lightroom Show. Take care.